Yo, what is good everybody? It's your boy the Strongest Wizard, and tonight is indeed fight night, and we have another OP05 match here for you guys. We have my man Dude Man on the left hand side rocking out that Enel, as well as Swish on the right with mono red Luffy. Yes, the starter deck won. My man bleeds red literally, and he's a huge believer of Luffy, so we're gonna see exactly if he can actually take it home. So we see the 3 cost Luffy coming down, as well as using leader ability here to swing 6k into life, passing turn. Dude Man at 4 Dawn here, swinging 5k into life. Swish takes it, and then dropping the cracker to pass turn. And now we are currently sitting at our 5 Dawn turn. What can Swish do here to possibly get rid of this this cracker, or maybe just go full aggro here? But we're actually probably going to see Luffy's ability coming into play, which you're able to attach to Dawn here, and that's a 7k swing going into life. And Dude Man takes it, and we see the base trigger happening, completely cutting off Swish's tempo here. That aggression that Swish really needs to win this matchup, completely being cut off by that beige off trigger. And of course, passing turn. Now we see the Gadatsu here popping the 3 cost Luffy. Definitely very unfortunate. Now we see a 7k swing going into life here with that cracker, and now this is a 7k swing, double attack, and we see the 0 cost event card coming down, 3k counter, 5k swing into life. He takes it and passes turn. So now we are sitting at our 7 Dawn turn. Swish needs to get rid of this cracker. I don't think it's possible at all that he can actually keep it alive. It is important to note that he is at 6k, so we see a 5k swing going to life, countering with that holy, and now we see the 7k Luffy here attaching 2 to give it rush, swinging into the cracker and passing turn. So yeah, it's essentially a 6 cost 9k rush Luffy, essentially is what it is. So we do see a 5k swing going into life here, and we see the Nico Robin 1k counter swinging 6k into life. He does end up taking it, and now we see the 8 cost Katakuri putting that Luffy to the bottom of his life. So now we are sitting at our 9 Dawn turn. We see the Nami coming down, searching top 5 for a straw hat, whiffing, putting a whole bunch of Namis to the bottom, dropping the Curly, searching top 5 for a 1 cost, grabbing a Nami. Most likely we'll see the Nami coming down. Yes, the Nami coming down, searching top 5 for a straw hat, and we have a couple targets grabbing that Zoro. We'll most likely see it this turn, possibly. We need to get rid of this Gadatsu though, so we are going to swing 6k into the Gadatsu, not using leader ability, just a easy 6k into the Gadatsu, and we see the 1k counter, and now we have the Zoro using leader ability, 7k into the Gadatsu, and then passing turn. So Dude Man making sure to keep the aggression on very high here, making sure that it does survive. Most likely we'll get rid of that Zoro pretty easily here. But let's see exactly the order that Dude Man does want to take this. So yeah. So obviously we are at our 10 Dawn turn is what it looks like. We are at 2 life, so Yamato doesn't really come into too much play here. You definitely want to keep it so that when you're at 1 life you get access to the recovery. So we see a 7k swing actually going into life here. Now Swish is gonna either take this or counter out of it. Yes, he does end up taking it, and most likely see another 7k swing possibly going into life, or possibly into that Zoro. But it looks like we are gonna swing 7 into life here with Enel, and that is obviously 2 cards at a hand if one of them is a 2k. It looks like he does have the 0 cost event card as well. So he might actually end up, yep, see the 0 cost event card dropping the Otama as well. And now we have this huge 8 cost Katakuri staring at us. But we see the 7 cost now coming down, swinging into life here, countering out of it. And now we swing into the Zoro, and it does end up going down. Yeah, I think the Enel actually swung into the Zoro as well, and he did end up countering out of it. So I'm not sure. I didn't catch it. It was too fast, man. So now we have Swish here at his 10 Dawn turn, and we have a ton of bodies on the board. We have obviously the Gadatsu, which is 7k plus the 8k Katakuri. My man Dude Man has a stacked board, and Swish is only at 2 life now, which is getting kind of scary. So we need to get rid of that Gadatsu, I think, no matter what. I think it's just way too much pressure. So we see an AK swing going to Gadatsu. It does go down. And now we have the 5-cost Luffy coming out, using leader ability here to attach a rested Dawn, attaching one Dawn, possibly attaching another Dawn to it, to maybe swing at that Enel. And yes, we see a 9k swing going into Enel, and Dewman actually forgets about Enel's ability. He's unable to revive Enel by trashing a life because there is a Luffy character on board. Luckily for this match, and luckily for Dude Man, this is just a locals, match here at a regular Thursday night tournament, and Swish is gonna go ahead and let him take it back, letting him regain that life and just letting the character die. So it's not too deep here. So going ahead and just passing turn, of course. And now Duman is at the same situation. He has a Yamato, it looks like a Thunderbolt, as well as an Amaru on board. I think this Luffy does go down no matter what. I think an easy AK swing into this Luffy, even if it doesn't go down, it gets rid of 2 cards out of Swish's hand. Plus, we have enough Dawn, surely enough Dawn to get rid of that Luffy. But it also looks like Dewman has an Omen hand. So we are going to swing a 10k swing into that Luffy. It does go down. And just based on math here, we most likely will see a 9k swing with that Enel going into life to just not, to use the Dawn somehow, some way. Even if we don't even need to swing at 9 into life, we're still going to do so. And he does end up taking it and then dropping the Ohm. Now we do have 2 Holies in trash, so most likely we'll not get one off the top 5. And no, we do not get one, and passing turn. Now, this is rather unfortunate because this 8-cost category is still sitting, staring at us, as well as a 6k Ohm, right? So Swish only has 1 life, and I see 2 attackers plus leaders. So either we have to get rid of the 8-cost category or go straight for the gas into life, and I just don't think that's really possible. I think we have to get rid of this 8-cost category. I don't think we have a choice here. So it looks like we might see a 11k swing or a 10k swing going into that category. Swish debating here exactly how much he wants to commit, and yes, it's an 11k swing actually going into that category, and it'll go down. Yeah, it definitely does go down, and now it looks like we possibly will see a 6k swing going into live. Duman does take it, and passing turn with 1 Dawn open. So we obviously probably will have a radical beam of some sort. Even if Swish wanted to go for life, I think it'd be pretty safe, honestly. But we don't really need to because we know we have Yamato in hand. So it really all depends here. We most likely will get rid of that curly. Even if we swung 5k into the curly, I think it still would go down. But no, we do see a 6k swing going into curly, making sure that it does go down. And yeah, it of course does go down. So now we see the 9-cost Yamato popping a Nami and passing turn, choosing not to swing with the Ohm, possibly because he wants to swing bigger on the following turn, just a heavier attack, and really unlikely that he can remove it unless it's a jet pistol or something like that. And that Ohm is still at 6k, so I do think it would have been a pretty safe move to swing with the Ohm, just because it acts as a pseudo blocker, as well as it just being 6k. So, but now you put Swish in a position here that he has to either he doesn't have a choice. He has to attack life, and that's pretty good for Dewman. That's pretty good for Dewman. There's absolutely no way Swish can win this turn. He will need 4 attacks to go through successfully, and we see a 5k swing and he doesn't end up taking it. We see a 5k swing and he doesn't end up taking it, and then we see the trigger of the Shirahoshi, the Graceful Charity, drawing 3, trashing 2. And yeah, I mean, he's got 2 Thunderbolts, so he can probably let at least one of them go. He has the Amaru, but it is important to note that we have to actually trash 3 cards out of our hand because of the leader ability to recover our life. So yeah, we see 3 cards being trashed here, recovering 1, and then now we see the 6k swing of Luffy coming down, choosing not to use the leader ability here, just a 6k swing going into life. And Dewman does end up taking it, realizing if he wants to use the trigger after all. And yeah, we see a Satori coming down to trash a Thunderbolt in hand since we don't really need it, and this is looking extremely scary. Swish only has 4 cards in hand currently, and Dewman has technically 5 swings on board. So pretty rough here. We do most likely, yeah, we see a 9k swing going into life with the Radical Beam as well as a Nami to counter out of it, and now we're only sitting at 2 cards in hand. So Dude Man making sure that he does the math properly. Funny enough, Dude Man can also just swing 5k 4 times and just win the game, but making sure that he does end up, you know, doing it right is obviously important as well. He wants to you know, make sure that he does win this game because sometimes you can fumble the bag, you know what I mean. There's been plenty of times when you're playing and you kind of get a little stressed out and you're like, oh man, I had it, and you just messed up by swinging X amount too less or X amount too heavy or too more. So yeah, we see a 10k swing going into life here and taking in. And we're going to see the Amaru here giving +3 onto that Enel. It's an 8k leader, and now we see a huge swing, and Dude Man doesn't end up taking it. So thank you guys so much for checking out the channel as well as this video. I really do appreciate it, and stay tuned because I have a ton of new OP05 content coming out soon. See ya!
It's